Good morning, America. For our viewers in the West, extreme weather across the country, fires and floods, and the sweet surprise from Neil Diamond. Two fast-moving wildfires raging in the Grand Canyon. More than 40,000 acres burned. Tourists evacuated, and historic lodge up in flames. Now, overnight, firefighters evacuated after a water treatment facility caught fire. The urgent concerns over toxic chlorine gas. Plus, severe storms caused flash flooding in the Northeast. The dangerous weather canceling more than 1,000 flights over the weekend. 50 million along the I-95 corridor on alert right now. And a new round of flooding hitting central Texas. Crews rescuing residents from rising waters. Critical search efforts stalled as the death toll from those devastating floods soars. We are live in Texas and at the Grand Canyon, and Ginger is tracking it all.
Breaking overnight, a deadly fire breaking out at an assisted living facility in Massachusetts.
It's the Gabriel house. It's completely up in flames.
Emergency responders racing to the scene. We're there live.
Open revolt. Some of the president's most prominent supporters calling for Attorney General Pam Bondi to resign after the administration did not release files on accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. What the president is saying this morning.
Deadly church shooting. 2 women killed in Kentucky after police say a suspect opened fire at a state trooper during a traffic stop, then drove to the church. The investigation right now.
Major weapons deal. President Trump's frustration with Vladimir Putin on full display.
He talks nice and then he bombs everybody in the evening. So there's a little bit of a problem there.
Now what's next for Ukraine?
Fiery plane crash. A London airport shut down after an accident, sending a plume of smoke rising. What we know.
New twist in the Menendez brothers' fight for freedom. Why some evidence was withheld during their second trial. The DA has 30 days to explain.
Half-price holiday. The new trend in buying secondhand vacations. Is it the best way to save on your dream destination? We have a reality check.
The new king of court. Yannick Sinner's dream win at Wimbledon.
And the surprise for one 17-year-old star.
Washington Nationals select Eli Willits.
Meet the youngest #1 pick in Major League history. And the sweet surprise and a sing-along from a legend.
Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Monday. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America. You can't help yourself. I don't care who you are. You hear that, it just brings out joy.
17.
I know.
Yes.
Young and man, 17.
17 years and 7 months old. You're the first pick in the Major League Baseball draft. Amazing. Congratulations to him.
Congratulations. We have a lot to get to this morning. Ginger is going to track all the severe weather across the country, including 50 million Americans along the I-95 corridor on flood watch. There were some rescues overnight, and Ginger's going to tell us the big cities that are on alert.
But we're going to begin, George, with the wildfires burning out of control at one of our nation's natural wonders in the middle of the summer tourism season. Thousands of acres have been scorched at the Grand Canyon, while dozens of structures have gone up in flames, including an historic lodge. Faith Abube is at the Grand Canyon for us this morning. Good morning to you, Faith.
Robin, good morning. The 2 wildfires are burning on the north rim of the Grand Canyon, and they're 0% contained right now, burning out of control. This is as far as visitors are being allowed to go before being turned around, which means thousands of people from all over the world who plan their vacations around the north rim are now scrambling to salvage those plans. This morning, 2 fast-moving wildfires raging in the Grand Canyon, plumes of smoke billowing from the north rim. Firefighters on the ground trying to extinguish the charred remains of buildings. Park officials confirming one of those structures, the Grand Canyon Lodge, a century-old staple, was consumed by the Dragon Bravo fire, which has now burned at least 5,000 acres. Kirsten Fong was staying at the lodge.
I just felt like such a special place to be there, and to think that it just all got annihilated after we were only there a few hours.
40 miles north, the White Sage Fire destroying more than 40,000 acres, many forced to evacuate, including more than 200 visitors and workers at the Jacob Lake Inn.
We have been in the same place for 102 years, but at the same time, so has the Grand Canyon Lodge.
And in Utah, the Deer Creek fire's intensity, winds whipping up, fire swirling. Firefighters capturing this firenado as they battled the massive inferno. And Michael, officials say there is still an ongoing risk to people and to structures. In fact, some firefighters had to be evacuated along with visitors after a water treatment facility caught fire and released toxic chlorine gas. Now, these fires were started by lightning, but the governor now calling for an independent investigation into the federal response. In the meantime, though, the North Rim will remain closed for the rest of the season. Michael.
You can understand that, Faith. Thank you so much. Let's bring in Ginger with the forecast for the fire zone. Good morning, Ginger.
Yeah, those are not the only wildfires burning. There are dozens burning across almost every state in the West. So let me bring you through what's going on. That last image you had seen in Faith's piece had the Deer Creek fire and that giant fire whirl. So really erratic fire behavior. And you're going to see fire behavior like that in the critical area today. Gusts up to 50 miles per hour, parts of Washington and Oregon. Then the front sinks south. It's a dry, cold front, so thunderstorms could start, but they don't bring rain, just lightning, which could start more fires. And so tomorrow, the critical fire danger is right on that north side of the Grand Canyon, up through Zion and into parts of Nevada and Utah. Now, we're going to have much more fire danger as the week progresses because we are right in the heart of fire season.
Yeah, we are. In the Northeast, there's a flash flood warning, a watch for more than 50 million on the I-95 corridor.
Yeah, Michael, over the weekend, 3 to 7 inches of radar estimated rain made for high water rescues from western New York through central Pennsylvania. Today, it's Virginia up through western Massachusetts, including Philadelphia, New York City, and Trenton, down into Baltimore, Wilmington, and Washington, D.C., with a significant risk of flash flooding, 2 to 3 inch per hour rainfall rates. And central Texas got more rain over the weekend, up to 5 inches in the flood watch today.
Oh, boy. All right. Thank you so much for that, Ginger. And those new rounds of storms and floods in Texas stalling search efforts for the more than 160 people still missing after the devastating July 4th floods. Maria Villarreal is on the scene for us in Kerrville, Texas. Good morning, Maria.
Good morning, Michael. Here along the banks of the Guadalupe River, there was floodwaters all in this area about 10 days ago. This morning, earlier, there was thunder, lightning, and rain all around us, meaning the search efforts could once again slow down here in Texas.
This morning, new challenges in the recovery efforts following widespread torrential rain and flash flooding in central Texas, pushing east overnight. North of Austin, the Lampasas River flooding, forcing evacuations in Texas again. Isolated storms stalling critical search efforts in the Texas Hill Country, for more than 160 people still missing after those devastating July 4th floods. This as the death toll climbs to at least 132 people. And concerns rising over an AP report that says FEMA approved appeals from Camp Mystic to remove some buildings from the flood map, which could have allowed the camp to bypass certain flood regulations. FEMA amended the county's flood map in 2013 to remove 15 of the camp's buildings from the hazard area, and 15 more were removed in 2019 and 2020.
Kerrville police did confirm to us last night that they did start their victim recovery operation once again. However, these are very tactical and technical driven missions, meaning they need the weather to cooperate. So crews are telling us they are hoping, crossing their fingers, that all of this rain pushes through very quickly. George?
We all hope so. Okay, Maria, thanks very much. Breaking overnight, a fatal fire at a nursing facility in Fall River, Massachusetts. Todd Kasakevich from our Boston affiliate WCVB is on the scene. Good morning, Todd.
Good morning, George. This is an enormous tragedy here in Fall River, Massachusetts. Local officials confirm 9 people perished in this fire. Another person is in critical condition and more than 24 others are in the hospital. This is an assisted living and an independent living facility known as Gabriel House. Fire broke out just before 10 o'clock last night. Residents were hanging out the windows screaming for help. Police say about a dozen residents were literally carried out of the building by police officers. Investigators have been on scene all night, in and out of the building, working to pinpoint the origin of this fire and the cause of this fire. It is an enormous tragedy. Robin?
Many questions. And Todd, we really appreciate you joining us this morning. Thank you.
Now, the shooting at a Kentucky church that left 2 people dead. Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katersky is on the scene in Lexington with the latest. Good morning, Aaron.
And good morning to you, Robin. According to police, we're told the suspect had a history of mental health problems, had anger issues and drug use, and he had access to a gun that he used to shoot 4 people here at this church. This morning, 2 women are dead after senseless violence in Lexington, Kentucky.
Sometimes things happen. We just don't have a reason why.
Police say the bloodshed began late Sunday morning after a traffic stop when the suspect shot a state trooper. The suspect fled the scene, carjacked a vehicle, and drove about 9 miles to Richmond Road Baptist Church. Police say he may have had a connection to some people there.
And we was like, Angel's not here. And my mom was like, Angel's not here. And he's like, well, I guess someone's going to have to die then. And shot twice at my mom. He shot once, she ducked and held her face. And then he shot her a second time and hit her in the chest. She fell.
72-year-old Beverly Gumm and 32-year-old Christina Combs were shot and killed. The gunman shot and wounded 2 men, including one left critically hurt. The suspect was killed in a shootout with police. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear posting, "Violence like this has no place in our Commonwealth or country. Please join Brittany and me as we pray for the families of those lost, each one a child of God, gone too soon." The state trooper who was shot is stable this morning. We're told the suspect's girlfriend had secured orders of protection against him. Guys?
Okay, Aaron, thanks very much. We go to the war in Ukraine now. Russia has intensified its air attacks over the weekends as President Trump says he will send more missiles to Ukraine. Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pannell is on the scene. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, George. That's right. Intense attacks overnight, over the weekend, and for the last few weeks. President Trump's special envoy, Keith Kellogg, has just arrived here inside Ukraine as all eyes turn to President Trump and his upcoming announcement.
This morning, in a major shift in policy, President Trump expected to announce a weapons deal for Ukraine. It'll be the first time he's sent arms to the country.
We will send them Patriots, which they desperately need, because Putin is really surprised a lot of people. He talks nice and then he bombs everybody in the evening. So there's a little bit of a problem there, and I don't like it.
The president promised to end the war in 24 hours, but he's increasingly frustrated with Russian leader Vladimir Putin. Despite taking part in peace talks, Russia has only increased its bombing of Ukraine. Dozens of people killed over the weekend following a month of relentless Russian attacks, with more than 200 civilians killed in June, the highest monthly civilian death toll of the past 3 years. American Patriot air defense missiles helped Ukraine intercept Russian missiles. The president saying these arms for Ukraine will be paid for by European nations.
We basically are going to send them various pieces of very sophisticated military, and they're going to pay us 100% for them.
As Russian forces slowly advance, President Trump speaking with NATO Secretary General this morning and expected to make what he calls a major announcement.
Well, one other thing to look out for is the possibility of sanctions. A major bipartisan bill is on the table that Senator Lindsey Graham described as a sledgehammer that President Trump can use against Putin's economy. Michael?
All right, Ian, thank you so much. We're going to turn now to President Trump's escalating trade war. Chief Economic Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis is here with the details for us. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning, Michael. Hi, guys. And the biggest impact right now on this escalating trade war you'll see is at the grocery store because of a new 20% tariff on fresh tomatoes from Mexico that kicks in today. Nature Sweet is one of the biggest importers here. Their products are sold everywhere from Walmart to Kroger to Whole Foods. They've said this could raise prices by nearly 10%. More than half the tomatoes we eat in the United States come from Mexico. And you have to also think about the products that use tomatoes from Mexico. Salsa, ketchups, marinara, all those costs go up. Of course, that's the impact on consumers. But I also hear regularly from small businesses like restaurants who say they are struggling to plan around this uncertainty and these cost increases. Big companies are dealing with it, too. This new tariff is in addition to the new 30% tariffs President Trump announced this weekend that could kick in August 1st if Mexico and the EU can't reach an agreement with the U.S. Those countries say they're trying to reach a deal, guys, and it's a big impact on the countries' economies. It's also an impact on our economy and our consumers.
Absolutely.
Yep.
How about, can we switch gears?
Please do.
Can we switch gears
yes,
right
do.
now? Okay, we're going to do that because we have Wimbledon. We have a new winner. Jannik Sinner dethroning the two-time defending champion. You're going to have those highlights for the final?
Of course, Robin, wouldn't miss this for the world. What a day. Jannik Sinner, he has been ranked the #1 player in the world for over a year now. He has 3 majors under his belt, 2 Australians, 1 U.S. Open, but the Wimbledon title, that had long eluded him, a lifelong dream to win the prestigious major on grass. And on Sunday, he finally made it happen, earning his 4th major in the process. But first, he would have to get through second seed Carlos Alcaraz, who has won the last 2 Wimbledon championships, as you said, Robin. And to be fair, Alcaraz looked like he might make it a three-peat early on, winning the first set with some incredible shots. There he is, asking for some cheers there. His momentum building, but a momentary stop in play in the second set. That happened when someone in the stands opened a bottle of champagne, and the cork flew onto center court. There it is, the cork on the court. The players shrugging it off, battling each other with some incredible exchanges, but the 23-year-old Sinner found his groove, winning the next 3 sets in a row to take his first Wimbledon title, walking straight to his player's box when it was over to share the victorious moment with his coaches and his parents before receiving the trophy from the royal patron of the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club. That would be Princess Kate. On the women's side, a very rough day for American Amanda Anisimova, who unfortunately makes history with her loss in the women's final, making it the first time since 1911 that a player has failed to win at least 1 game in the women's final at Wimbledon. Anisimova losing 6-love to Poland's Iga Świątek, who did kindly point out, and it is so true, Anisimova had an incredible 2-week run and defeated the #1 ranked player in the world to earn that spot in the Wimbledon final. We should focus on that.
Beating Sabalenka like she did, that was hard to come back from.
A major, and she said she just was out of gas.
Well, she should be proud.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Iga too. Let's show her some props too. She's come back.
And to get 2 donuts, that's a big deal.
I'm thinking of the guy trying to hide his champagne bottle after the cork goes in.
Or a little after that guy.
Really.
Coming up, the political crisis for President Trump over the Jeffrey Epstein files. Some of the president's allies are calling for Attorney General Pam Bondi's resignation.
Also this morning, the new twist in the Menendez brothers' fight for freedom. Janae Norman tracking that latest for us, Janae?
Hey, Robin, even though the brothers have been resentenced, this is about Eric and Lyle's second trial. Now a DA has 30 days to explain why certain evidence was withheld. Coming up, we'll explain what it could mean for their fight for freedom.
And we have the new reality check on a new trend, secondhand vacations. Is buying someone else's trip the best way to save on your dream destination? We're going to find out. You got somewhere you book you can't go? I'll buy it from you later for a discount. All right, stay right there. We are just getting started, and we will be right back.
What do you mean? Justin Bieber's #1 song from 10 years ago. That's what we mean. Now Bieber is hitting the top spot again. Boy, that's quiet all of a sudden.
Real quick, right? Cut it off.
He's got a new surprise album. Lara has all the details coming up in Pop News.
That's coming up. First new at 7:30. Southend Airport in London was shut down after an accident involving a small plane. See that video from the scene? It shows a fire and a plume of black smoke rising from the area. An investigation is underway.
And breaking news this morning, the 4 private astronauts who have been aboard the International Space Station for nearly 2.5 weeks are set to return to Earth. They just undocked moments ago, and they are expected to splash down off the coast of California tomorrow morning. And at the Major League Baseball draft, the night started with a surprise. At 17 years and 216 days old, Washington Nationals selected shortstop Eli Willits with the first overall pick. His father Reggie played 6 seasons in the majors, all with the Angels. And there was another family connection with the 4th overall pick. The Colorado Rockies selected Ethan Holiday. His dad, Matt, was picked by the very same Rockies back in 1998. Yeah, look at those pictures. As young Ethan on the field with his pops. How great is that?
Priceless.
You guys say he was born to wear those pops.
Yeah.
Look good on him.
Very cute. We're going to turn now to the political crisis for President Trump, with some of the MAGA movement's most prominent voices in revolt over the Jeffrey Epstein files. Some of the president's allies are demanding the resignation of Attorney General Pam Bondi after she did not deliver on a promise to release the files. Chief Washington correspondent John Carl at the White House with the latest. Good morning, John.
Good morning, George. This morning, President Trump is standing by his attorney general, saying she is doing a, quote, fantastic job. But some of the most prominent figures in the MAGA movement are unhappy with how the administration has handled the files related to accused sex trafficker and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, and they are saying that Pam Bondi has got to go. President Trump brought Attorney General Pam Bondi along last night and gave her a thumbs up as he attended the FIFA Club World Cup final, even as some of his most fervent supporters are accusing her of a cover-up.
I don't think he realizes how much she's humiliated the administration. This is a self-inflicted wound. She caused it. Again, I have nothing against Pam Bondi, but if you want to look for the villain in this story, we have found her.
Over the weekend, Trump wrote that Bondi is doing a, quote, fantastic job, and told his supporters, "We're on Team MAGA, and I don't like what's happening." Some of Trump's supporters are blaming Bondi for the administration's decision not to release more information related to the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein, the accused sex trafficker who was found dead in his jail cell in an apparent suicide in 2019. Trump, like many other New York celebrities, had some association with Epstein. This video of Trump with Epstein is from 1992. When Epstein was arrested in 2019, Trump said they had previously had a falling out and had not spoken in 15 years. It was Attorney General Bondi who set expectations earlier this year that the DOJ and FBI files on Epstein would be released.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
But in a big reversal, the DOJ and FBI have now announced the end of their investigation, writing that a review found, quote, no incriminating client list and, quote, no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed anyone, and confirming that he had died by suicide. As for that so-called client list,
I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that.
For years, many Trump allies, including his now FBI Director Kash Patel, pushed for the release of the government files on the Epstein case, insisting they would implicate prominent Americans in a sinister plot. Here's what MAGA star Dan Bongino, now the Deputy FBI Director, said in 2019.
The questions surrounding this alleged suicide are numerous and are worth entertaining. And worth getting to the bottom of quickly.
According to multiple sources, Bongino had a heated argument with Bondi at the White House last week and has told friends he may resign. Last night, Trump said he thinks Bongino is still on the job.
Is Dan Bongino still your deputy FBI director? Have you spoken to him?
I think so. I did. I spoke to him today. Dan Bongino, very good guy. I've known him a long time. I've done his show many, many times. And he sounded terrific, actually. No, I think he's in good shape.
In his Truth Social post expressing support for Pam Bondi, Trump said that people should not waste time and energy talking about Jeffrey Epstein. But George, judging from the response to that post, it appears that many of his own supporters are not ready to take that advice.
Yeah, this does not seem to be going away. Okay, John, thanks very much. Michael?
All right, George, we're going to turn now to the new twist in the Menendez brothers case. There are new questions about why some evidence was withheld during their second trial. Janae Norman is here with the details. Good morning again, Janae.
Hey, Michael, good morning. Not just any evidence, but evidence that supports the brothers' claims of sexual assault by their father, and that this ruling says could have changed the outcome of their second trial. Now, even though they've been resentenced, a judge wants answers for why that evidence was withheld.
This morning, new questions being raised in the Menendez brothers' fight for freedom. A Los Angeles Superior Court judge giving DA Nathan Hochman 30 days to explain why some evidence was withheld during their second trial. According to the ruling, this evidence could have changed the outcome of their 1996 convictions for the shotgun murders of their parents Kitty and Jose Menendez. The evidence in question supports Eric and Lyle's claims of sexual abuse by their father, namely a letter Eric wrote to his cousin in 1988 describing the abuse, which the court said corroborates Cano's testimony and the sexual abuse allegations the defendants made at trial. Another is a declaration from a former member of the band Menudo claiming he was drugged and raped by Jose when he was a teen. The ruling also saying the defendants alleged that this new admission counters the prosecution's argument that Jose was restrained and forgiving, not a violent and brutal man, and not the kind of man that would abuse his children. DA Hochman has long insisted the brothers could be a threat to public safety if released. But at their resentencing hearing in May, a judge changing their sentence from life in prison without the possibility of parole to 50 years to life, which makes them eligible for parole.
In the event that the Menendez brothers are not granted parole in the next couple of years, then rest assured that the Menendez brothers will now use this court ruling as Plan B and then solicit the court to move forward with a new trial and try to gain an acquittal.
So we reached out to the DA's office for comment. We haven't heard back, but their hearings are scheduled for late August. As you've heard there, this new ruling they could use as a Plan B to help them get out.
We'll see what happens next.
We'll see.
All right, Janae, thank you so much. Now on GMA with a new trend in scoring a dream vacation for less. Consumer correspondent Becky Worley is here with how it all works. Good morning to you, Becky.
Good morning, Robin. Buying secondhand has become second nature, but would you buy someone else's vacation secondhand? It's a story we first saw in the Wall Street Journal, and they say savvy buyers can save a ton buying vacation packages that other people can't use. Ever wonder how you can score a dream trip to destinations like these for less? Easy. Buy secondhand. Well, kind of. Websites like SpareFare, Rumor, Plans Change, and Transfer Travel let would-be travelers purchase trips from people who have to cancel their non-refundable vacations. The websites Rumor and Plans Change offer discounted accommodations, but people can search for discounted hotel rooms, flights, and packages on sites like SpareFare and Transfer Travel, especially if you're looking to go overseas.
This is a fairly new trend that's cropped up. There's sort of like eBay, where you can go and bid on used vacations, gently used vacations. People who can't take their trips are selling on these marketplaces.
Markdowns vary, but you can score some great deals. In the mood for a luxury cruise? Well, check out this 5-night discounted getaway from Virgin Voyages. It's for 2 adults, complete with an extra-large sea terrace. It was originally listed at $31.92, and now it's $2,600, an almost 20% discount. This Rumor hotel listing at Urban Residences Rotterdam in the Netherlands once listed for $753 for a 5-night stay. Now it's available for $50. That's a 93% discount. But experts say to make sure to read the fine print when looking for deals on these reseller sites. You might even do better booking through an airline vacation package.
So one of my favorite is AA Vacations, American Airlines Vacations. A lot of times I'll find deals up to 40% off. You pick the hotel, you pick the flight you want, you pick the dates.
And while these secondhand sites do provide travelers with one more tool in the hunt for bargains,
it is really, really, really hard, especially these days in a post 9/11 world, to change the name on an airline ticket. So, you would have to find out if the airline will allow you to change the name. A lot of times there's fees for ticket change, name changes, and there could even be ticket repricing.
Now, this is really an interesting way to do it, but there are other ways to save. For airfare, Google Flights has done me right recently. Their algorithm is willing to mix and match airlines to get you the rock bottom lowest fare. Basically, they help you buy 2 one-way tickets to create a full round trip at the lowest price. Another app that has saved me a bundle recently, Hotel Tonight. Where our plans changed, we needed a hotel room, and it saved us 50% compared to all the other travel sites I used because it's just for those last-minute purchases. So lots of ways to save as you get your summer vacation on, guys.
All great suggestions there, Becky. Thank you so much. Got our attention.
Blair and I are yeah. We're back now on our play of the day in the sweet surprise performance from 2 legends here, but also a legend in front of thousands of cheering fans. Larry, you got the details. I think you kind of gave the story away. Go ahead, take it.
Oh, well. Sweet is the word. Grammy-winning legend Neil Diamond surprised a sold-out audience at a matinee performance of A Beautiful Noise, the Neil Diamond musical, in L.A. over the weekend. He showed up, and then he led a spontaneous sing-along performance of his classic Sweet Caroline. Please check this out.
So good.
The 84-year-old Brooklyn native has been keeping out of the spotlight after a Parkinson's diagnosis in 2018, but after that impromptu sing-along with 2,600 of his fans, Diamond went backstage to take photos and share stories with the cast and crew alongside his family. A Beautiful Noise, the musical, continues performances in California for the rest of the month, and then they officially kick off its second year on tour this fall, hitting 35 cities. You never know where Neil Diamond might show.
That's awesome.
Pretty great.
How special
Yeah.
is that?
Really great.
Thank you, Lara. Coming up, Oprah Daly's first ever awards for travel, luggage, gadgets, and more. Recommendations are on the way. Come on back.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. Two fast-moving wildfires raging in the Grand Canyon. More than 40,000 acres burned. Tourists evacuated. An historic lodge up in flames. Now, overnight, firefighters evacuated from the North Rim due to toxic chlorine gas after a water treatment facility caught fire. Plus, severe storms caused flash flooding in the Northeast. The dangerous weather canceling more than 1,000 flights over the weekend. 50 million along the I-95 corridor on alert right now. And a new round of flooding hitting central Texas. Ginger is tracking it all.
Health Heart Game Changer, the potential new use for mammograms, how they can help identify women at risk for heart disease. Dr. Tara Narula is here breaking it down.
And we're getting ready to dive back into the tank, revealing who we will see on Shark Tank. And we've got a favorite ready to tackle the tank. We could be looking at some giant deals as we say good morning, America.
Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Monday. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America. We have a lot coming up in pop news, including that Shark Tank news, plus an Odyssey update from Tom Holland. And breaking at 8, we have some news about King Charles and Prince Harry.
Also ahead, it's been 6 months since the Southern California fires. The region, as we know, devastated. Thousands of homes, buildings lost, lives lost. We're going back to one of the towns hardest hit, Altadena, to check in on the families we met there. And that's coming up.
So much trauma there. First look at the top stories breaking at 8. We start with the severe weather across the country, including the wildfires burning at the Grand Canyon. Ginger's tracking it. Good morning, Ginger.
Hey, we'll start with the 2 wildfires near the north rim of the Grand Canyon. That's why they are keeping that closed through the season. So it's the Dragon Bravo fire that took out that historic lodge among the buildings. And also firefighters had to be evacuated because that fire hit the water treatment facility and then put out some toxic gas. So we've got not just those 2 wildfires burning, but also dozens across almost every state in the West. This one is from the Deer Creek fire along the Colorado-Utah state line. It had that huge fire whirl along with it. And today we've got the elevated and critical fire danger in Washington and Oregon there. Tomorrow the front comes through dry, so more lightning could spark fires in parts of Nevada, Utah, right down through the North Rim. Then we've got to talk about flooding because we've got Newark Valley as pictures. Water rescues were coming in from central Pennsylvania over the weekend through western New York. Now we've got a flood watch from Virginia up through Connecticut and Massachusetts. New York City, Philadelphia, this afternoon and evening, you're talking about 2 to 3 inch per hour rainfall rates. So a significant risk of flash flooding. Baltimore, Wilmington, down into Washington, D.C. That elevated risk is much larger from Albany down into Richmond. Remember, this has been super saturated lately. And speaking of super saturated, that area in Texas that had been so hard hit flooded again over the weekend. We had flash flood warnings, and now we're going to go through another day. This evening, we could see some of these storms developing and being heavy at times. We do see some drying toward the end of the week and the weekend, guys.
We really need that, Ginger. All right, thanks so much. Now to the preliminary report into last month's deadly Air India crash. Transportation correspondent Gio Benitez is here with the findings and the reaction. Good morning, Gio.
Yeah, Robin, good morning. Yeah, this was that tragic crash we were talking about, the Air India crash of a Boeing 787 from last month that killed at least 260 people. This morning, the CEO of Air India is asking people not to speculate. So let's take you back to that tragic moment there. It was captured on camera, of course. The plane crashing just moments after takeoff, only one survivor. Now, after a preliminary report from investigators in India, the FAA says that the Boeing 787 is safe. It has no safety recommendations right now. This after investigators found that the fuel to both engines was shut off 3 seconds after lifting off. That shut down the engines, of course. Switches that control the flow of fuel were turned off at some point. 10 seconds later, they were turned on again, but of course it was just too late. The pilots union there in India criticizes the report, saying the tone creates a presumption of pilot guilt. Now, based on this early report, the big question this morning, of course, is did one of the pilots intentionally flip those switches? And if so, was it premeditated? The CEO is saying to stop drawing premature conclusions. But of course, these are very serious questions.
Very serious questions.
And it's really hard to turn off that fuel pump, right?
Experts are telling us it's impossible to just do that by accident.
Wow. All right, Gio, thank you, as always. We're going to turn now to the latest on King Charles and Prince Harry's strained relationship. Our chief international correspondent, James Longman, is in London with the story. And James, there's a good sign this morning?
Well, maybe. We'll have to wait and see. But after years of animosity, there is new hope this morning that King Charles and Prince Harry are on the road to a reconciliation. They are now at least back in formal communication because senior aides for both the King and the Duke were seen at a meeting in London over the weekend. Now, it's not clear who initiated this meeting, but a source has told ABC News that the Duke's team is calling this a routine meeting to discuss his patronages and official engagements. But the relationship between Harry and his family has, of course, been under strain for quite some time. When he and Meghan moved to the United States, they gave up their roles as working members of the royal family. You remember that 2021 interview with Oprah where Meghan insinuated that a member of the family had a problem with the colour of Archie's skin. And then in his memoir, Harry said that Prince William had attacked him and he painted a picture of emotional neglect more broadly. Now, the King is still undergoing treatment for cancer, so it might be that the two sides have been brought closer together because of that. We just don't know, but maybe this is a good sign. Guys.
It is, James. Thank you. Coming up on our JMA Morning Menu, our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Tara Narula, is here. There she is. She's got to have the latest on how mammograms can be used to help fight heart disease.
Also ahead, we reveal the guest sharks diving into the new season of Shark Tank.
Plus, Oprah Daily's Adam Glassman is here with some of their first ever travel award winners. From luggage to tech to clothes, they'll all make your next trip easier. And Lara's with Robin Arzone. Hey, Lara.
Hey.
Hey, Michael and Robin, I am with Robin, and she's sharing with us something very special, near and dear to her heart, that's coming to the Barbie universe. We'll share it with you coming up on Good Morning America.
You know the song, Miley Cyrus, Flowers, and Tomorrow. She's going to tell us about the new movie she calls a visual companion to her album, Something Beautiful. That's coming up tomorrow.
We are looking forward to that, but right now our GMA cover story, a potential new use for mammograms. Doctors at Northwell Health in New York are now using them to identify women at risk, are you ready for this, for heart disease. Our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Tara Narula, a cardiologist, joins us now with more. Good morning.
Good morning, Robin. What if there was a clue to a woman's risk of heart disease visible in her mammogram? It's certainly information that can be life-changing. Well, that's exactly what happened to one woman when she got her mammogram report last year. Take a look. Catherine's mammogram results included something new. Doctors said there were no signs of breast cancer, but her mammogram showed breast arterial calcification, or BAC.
I would have never thought to go to a cardiologist because I always felt healthy.
Research shows 12 to 23% of mammograms have tiny calcifications in the breast arteries, which are associated with an increased risk of heart disease and stroke.
Every radiologist sees breast arterial calcification. It's very obvious. But there are no guidelines about including it in your report. The mammogram report doesn't have to include whether you have signs of heart disease.
But doctors at Northwell's Katz Institute for Women's Health are trying to change that. Their new initiative now requires every mammogram to report signs of BAC. And if a woman has breast arterial calcification, she is advised to speak to her doctor about her risk for heart disease.
A lot of those women were finding out for the first time that they might be at risk for heart disease just by having a mammogram.
If you have that finding, we would work with our patients to modify risk factors, lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol, and those things prevent heart disease, stroke, and also cancer.
Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death for women. Early screening and learning about risk factors can be life-changing for women like Catherine. After her mammogram results showed BAC, she was sent to a cardiologist and discovered one of her heart arteries was severely blocked. She then had a stent placed in her heart artery to improve blood flow to her heart.
If they didn't look for it in me, who knows if I'd be sitting here now. Mammogram saved my life.
Dr. Vinkoff told us that to find BAC and include it in the report only takes a matter of seconds. So it would not be a big change to the current mammogram process,
Okay,
Robin.
you have our attention right now.
Good.
Oh, my goodness. So what is the hope, the team, the Katz team? What are they hoping with this work?
Well, Robin, they believe this is really low-hanging fruit and this is potentially game-changing, and I'll tell you why. We've known about BAC, this risk with heart disease, for decades. We know that cardiovascular disease, as you heard, is the leading cause of death for women, and we don't have great screening tools, particularly for young women, and many times the first sign is when you have a heart attack or stroke. This does not add cost or time or radiation, and when they've done research and surveyed women who've gotten these results in their report, they've universally, majority have said, I want this information. So the question, Robin, is why? Why is this not the standard of care? And that is what the Katz team is hoping to do, to really move the needle so that nationally it does become universally reported. They're also going to look at this database of women. They now have 15,000 women that they have seen BAC in, and they're going to follow them to see what happens to these women. Do they get further testing? Do they have heart attacks? Do they get put on medication? Do they see cardiologists? All of that data, that robust data, will again help in terms of moving us forward.
And it is robust data.
It is.
I mean, so much of this. All right. A woman that's watching right now, what should she be asking her doctor or radiologist?
Well, we know until this becomes standard, women are going to have to advocate for themselves. They can certainly look for institutions that do BAC reporting as the standard. Many other places will do it for a fee or a charge, but you should ask up front. And then if you've had your mammogram read, go back to your gynecologist or whoever ordered it or the radiologist and ask, did they see breast arterial calcification? It's important, Robin, to also say that if you have BAC, it does not mean you have heart disease. If you don't have BAC, it doesn't mean also that you're clear. But all of this means sit down with a cardiologist or your doctor. If you do have breast arterial calcification, talk about any symptoms, risk factors, possible screening tests that you may want to do. I mean, this is so important. 2 for 1, a test that could potentially help with breast cancer and heart disease, the leading cause of death. We can't say that enough.
We cannot say that enough. Dr. Narula, thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's go down to Lara for some pop news.
Yeah, thank you, Robin, and thank you, Dr. Narula. Great information. We're going to switch gears, though. It's time for pop news, everybody, and we're going to begin with a little bit of swag, if you will. Thanks to Justin Bieber's new album, Swag may have been a surprise, but his fans' reactions are anything but. They've wanted new music from the Biebs for a very long time, myself included, and they are now putting their money where their mouths are. In fact, they have just given Justin his biggest global streaming day ever, with Swag going #1 on the Apple and Spotify streaming charts, thanks to the 96 million streams of Swag in a single day. His new song Daisy's also claiming the top spot on Spotify and Apple's song charts over the weekend, and reviews of the stripped back album are pouring in. Rolling Stone calls it some of the most creative and wide-ranging music of Justin's life. And other artists are also sharing their enthusiasm over the album. Ed Sheeran writing on Instagram, "Brilliant album, man. I love it." Hey guys, Swag is streaming everywhere right now. Congratulations to Justin.
A little bit of a different sound.
Yes.
It's really good.
Love it.
Yeah.
Really great. Hey, also this morning, we're getting ready to get back in the tank as the Sharks gear up for their 17th season. And this morning, we can exclusively reveal some pretty great guest Sharks who are lined up to appear on the show this season, including Poppy Beverage founder Allison Ellsworth. She will swim with the Sharks, as will fashion designer Kendra Scott, Uncle Nearest Whiskey CEO Fawn Weaver, and Atlanta Falcons part owner Rashawn Williams. He is also jumping in the tank to help entrepreneurs jumpstart their careers. Home design moguls Chip and Joanna Gaines are doing it. Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian and my personal favorite.
Get to it.
Finally.
There you go.
Look at those teeth. Look at those shark teeth. They're gonna bite.
Yeah, the shark teeth with a gap.
Michael Strand in the tank.
I gotta say, it's a lot of fun. Yeah. We already did it. It's a lot of fun. And I was really surprised, really nervous. But once you get there, they're amazing. They make you feel great. They really show you the ropes. So I had a great time.
And any exciting potential investments?
Yeah, you have to watch to see.
Because the Sharks give their own money.
No, you got to give your own money. That's why I borrowed some of Robin's. To invest.
Yeah, that's the thing that makes the show so exciting is that if the Sharks invest, it's personal because they really do have to give their own money. So the Sharks, as I just said, they invest in businesses and products, giving people from all walks of life their chance to chase the American dream. Thank you, Michael Strahan. Season 17 of The Tank airs Wednesdays this fall right here on ABC.
What haven't you done?
Retired.
You've been to Spain.
Don't even say that word.
Don't even bring that up. No.
Hey, we will move on right now to movie news, everybody. We're learning new details this morning about Christopher Nolan's highly anticipated Greek epic, The Odyssey, thanks to Tom Holland, who is one of the stars of the blockbuster In the Making. Holland sitting down with GQ to chat about the upcoming project, revealing the movie is going to, quote, be like anything that we've ever seen, unlike anything we've ever seen, thanks to director Christopher Nolan, saying, quote, to be part of the process and to collaborate with a true master of his craft and learn from him was the best experience I've ever had, says Holland. The Odyssey will be the first movie in history filmed entirely on IMAX. That's cool. Wow. Cameras with an all-star cast. Wow. Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, Lupita Nyong'o, Robert Pattinson, Charlize Theron. Holland plays the son of Odysseus, who's played by Matt Damon. And there is a teaser trailer for the movie. It's only playing in theaters right now because Nolan wants to encourage everyone to see the movie in theaters when it hits on July 17th. Of next year. Looking forward to
it's going to be something.
Really great. And then finally, guys, we want to put a face to the joys of having a senior dog in your life. Check this one out. So Jane Thompson is an award-winning photographer, and she chose to specialize in dogs. She went viral for these images. Just keep them rolling. Their 18-year-old blind poodle, Marigold, and she writes about the photo shoot on Instagram. Marigold gave us a soulful session full of the kind of quiet magic that only senior dogs can give. I feel lucky to have photographed her. Thompson went on to say that she couldn't pick a favorite photo because Marigold is a natural. She calls her a teddy bear and a lovely senior lady. And that is pop news, everyone.
Very cute. Thank you, Lara.
We're going to turn now to summer travel and some products that can help make your next trip easier. Oprah Daily just announced its first ever travel award winners, and its creative director Adam Glassman is here to tell us all about them. Adam, welcome back to GMA. You're a vet here, man. We love having you.
Good morning.
And we know you and your team, you've tested so many different products. What were you looking for in a winner?
Well, we were looking for things that were not just beautiful, but really efficient and worked really well. And our editors traveled the globe. So this issue is really your personal travel companion, and everything here has been vetted by all of us.
All right, here we go. We're going to start out with the hard-sided suitcase. What makes this the winner?
Well, it's American Tourister, first of all, and it is budget-friendly. It is $53.99, and you get a lot of bang for your buck. It wheels effortlessly like that. It has a great big pocket inside, a smaller one here for little things, compression straps to keep things down, great colors so you can find it in the airports.
Ah.
There's a lot to choose from and a really good price.
Yeah, you can see it come off the carousel.
I know. Now, the truth is this, you're either a hard-sided person or a soft-sided person. I like soft-sided, and Calpac is the one I use all the time.
But you say people always come up to you and ask you about this when
They
they see you with
do,
it.
they do, because the colors are so beautiful, and it almost looks like a puffer jacket on wheels.
Smooth, yeah.
It smooths really nice, and look at all these pockets inside. One here, another one here, another one there. Compression, wheels easily. Very beautiful at Calpac.
All right, but you gotta keep
we're
this stuff
moving
organized,
on.
man.
Now,
Gotta keep it organized.
For the ladies out there that travel with full-size hair tools, curling irons, flat irons, Lara, Robin, you name it. This is from Cushy. It is ingenious. Look at the inside right here. It holds all the full size.
Wow.
The side pockets right here keep all your brushes and your stuff. It folds up so you can put it right in there.
nice.
But this is the most ingenious part. The fabric inside is heat resistant, up to 380 degrees. So if you're a last minute primper, you can put your warm
Right after.
iron right in there and then just pack. And it's available at Amazon from Cushy.
Wow, great.
I know.
Heat resistant.
Now, plug box,
Yeah.
I am crazy for. You
Me
know when
too.
you travel overseas and you look up and you say, oh, it has to be this plug, and you
Yeah.
ultimately bring the wrong one? Nope. Now you have plug bug. It's this. This slides off. Then you have these little foldable ones that go in there. And it also has 4 different USB-C charging ports. So
Can't
you
beat
could
that.
charge your phone and your laptop in there, and it's fast charging. And it all fits into this. So then you just throw this into your overnight bag or your suitcase.
All right,
So you'll never be lost without an adapter.
I'm buying one of those.
It's under $90 at Amazon. And then
Perfect.
finally, the
Comfort.
ultimate in travel wear. Feel this.
Oh,
It's from
man.
Spanx. Oprah loves Spanx. We love Spanx. She wears this all the time. It's nice and comfy and cozy. It's the gold standard of travel wear. You get the top, you get the pant. They're sold separately. The prices start at $89, and they're beautiful. And they never wrinkle.
And they never wrinkle, which
They
is
never
great.
wrinkle,
Sit on a
exactly.
plane, get up,
Yep,
and feel
yep.
fresh and new.
Yep.
Adam, thank you, man.
Yeah, thank
you.
you.
Did your research. Great
Okay,
job.
I
Great
know.
job. Okay,
Yeah.
and you can shop for these products on GoodMorningAmerica.com, and Adam will be back with more winners on GMA3. Oprah Daily's special summer travel issue is on newsstands now. And coming up, we check in with the families we met in Altadena 6 months after the Southern California fires.
Welcome back to GMA, live from New York City.
Can y'all believe that it has been 6 months, 6 months since the Southern California fires, devastating more than 40,000 acres, destroying more than 12,000 structures, forcing about 200,000 people from their homes. One of the hardest hit areas was Altadena. We checked in with some of the people there. In this devastated Altadena community, crews diligently clearing debris while families race to rebuild all they have lost.
We start each debris removal with a walkthrough with the homeowner. They are actually sifting through the ashes to see if there's anything that can be recovered.
6 months later, the pain still lingers. The destructive Eaton fire tearing through the tight-knit town, tragically killing 18 people. One of the several infernos blazing across Southern California.
It's tough. You know, it's very, very emotional. We're right around 5,700 total lots that have been damaged. This is the largest wildfire debris cleanup mission that the Corps of Engineers has ever undertaken.
The Jenkins family, who lost 9 homes in a 2-mile radius, leaning on each other while displaced across the state.
Everybody's scattered, but we spend a lot of time together. We're not going anywhere. Everybody in our family rebuilt. This is what we know is home.
We all kind of had to learn by trial and error. We're all going through different things from the same tragedy, but staying together has been the best thing for us.
We first met Ed and Marcus in January, outside of their aunt's destroyed home.
This is my Aunt Paula's.
Wow.
emotions at an all-time high.
For me, I'd rather see it like this than when it was burnt and still, that was devastating, hard to look at.
Now Aunt Paula's debris cleared, her permit process complete, and her new home set to break ground, one of the first and few in the area.
I'm prepared for the new build and I'm ready to come back.
Meanwhile, for cousin Marcus, the stress of recovery has taken a serious mental toll.
Sleeping is still a challenge because of all the deadlines and it requiring you to submit an itemized list with pricing, which is nearly impossible in a home that's been owned for over 40, 50 years, right?
Across Altadena, many families facing mountains of fees and paperwork in the permit process. Only 88 rebuilding permits have been issued so far.
FEMA-wise, it was just $770, and we wish you the best.
We're committed, and we would do whatever we have to do because we want to be home.
While some residents are deciding to sell their land, the Wood family, who lived in the area for over 40 years, determined to stay despite insurance loopholes.
Having insurance is a good thing, but it's never enough money to cover actually rebuilding.
The Foothill Catalog Foundation, hoping to alleviate time and cost.
We're a group of building professionals that are working to create a more streamlined way to rebuild through the mechanism that is the pre-approved home plan.
Building pre-approved home plans so families like the Woods can bypass some of the red tape.
So saving months, if not years of time off of the design process and the permitting process, we can give homeowners a head start and get them as close as possible to rebuilding and construction as we can.
The local nonprofit.
Good seeing you guys.
Partnering with Habitat for Humanity.
We wanted to make sure from day one we had a house like this that was representative of what the community has always been.
To build back homes and help restore hope in Altadena.
This looks like Altadena,
Yes.
When I saw it, I said, that's it. That's it.
And our hearts are with the people of Altadena and all who were impacted by the tragic fires in Southern California as they continue to rebuild. For the Jenkins family, they say time has moved slowly and so many challenges remain. Aunt Paula said it still hits her every time she visits where her home once stood. What she's most looking forward to, though, is when her house is built, a classic game night community party like we joked about when they were with us live.
Yeah, and we both went to Southern California after the fire. It was life-changing.
Yeah.
To see the devastation was a lot more than you could imagine, but also to see the courage of all the people was really amazing as well. So if there's someone out there, they want to help people rebuild, Robin, how can they help?
There's so many ways, and so many times our wonderful viewers come through again and again. You can support the families of Altadena by supporting the Altadena Rotary and the Foothill Catalog Foundation. They are doing some tremendous work. You can scan the QR code on your screen or go to goodmorningamerica.com to find out more. But I'm so proud of how we continue to do this. We follow up.
Yeah.
We're not just there when it first happens. We're not just there on the ground.
Before, during, and way after.
Right.
And that's the important part, because whenever every disaster, it is so hard. Those people are still going through PTSD.
Yeah.
They're still dealing with the actual emotionality of the fire itself, let alone the red tape and all of that stuff. So to see someone come in and say, let me make that easier for you.
Yeah.
And just to remind everybody that they still need our help.
A lot of needs still out there.
They just want to know that they're not forgotten. And not just them, but the flooding, the fire, all of that. All of that.
Now, with the new book on the Idaho College murders case, it details what those closest to the victim believe may have been the motive. Kana Whitworth joins us with the story. Good morning, Kana.
Yeah, Michael, good morning. So ahead of next week's sentencing, James Patterson and Vicki Ward discussed their new book about the murders. It's based on hundreds of interviews surrounding this case. And in this book, they reveal new details and attempt to lift the veil of secrecy that has shrouded this case for more than 2 years. This morning, new revelations from those closest to Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonzalez, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin about what they believe was the motive behind Bryan Kohberger's brutal murders of the 4 University of Idaho students.
For people who have followed this story, we wanted to give them closure.
Best-selling author James Patterson and investigative reporter Vicki Ward teaming up for the new book, The Idaho 4, An American Tragedy, conducting over 300 interviews with people with ties to the case, including family and friends who believe Maddie was the target.
There was consensus that it was Maddie that Kohberger was going for, and the victims' families, I think, would all agree with that. You know, everything points to that.
Moscow police allege the culprit's cell phone records show his phone appears to have been close to the King Road house on at least 12 occasions between August and the night of the murders in November, almost always late at night. The book also describing what it calls a recurring nightmare of a close friend, Emily Allant, after the murders, saying she imagined that the now convicted murderer went to the restaurant where Maddie worked, expressed a romantic interest in her, and was rejected. He then retaliated. You wrote about this recurring dream that Emily Allant was having, that in her dream, Bryan Kohberger met Maddie at the Mad Greek, where we know that she worked with Xana. Tell me a little bit about how she explained that dream to you and how you put it into writing.
When they are told that the guy who murdered their friends is this guy, Bryan Kohberger, they don't recognize his photo.
Right, a total stranger.
They can't put it together. That's when Emily said the only explanation that she and Hunter could come up with is the story that, you know, we tell as the story of her dream, that Bryan Kohberger targeted Maddie, and that, you know, she doesn't know the exact details, but that's her best guess.
Lead prosecutor Bill Thompson says Maddie was the first person the culprit killed. The knife sheath with his DNA found under her body.
Kohberger, the criminologist, had such training for this, and he almost committed the perfect crime. Had he not left the knife sheath, he probably wouldn't have gotten caught.
For nearly 7 weeks, he hid in plain sight one of the only sources of real information, a surviving roommate who told friends what she saw.
It's really through Emily that we learned what sort of Dylan had gone through. And it sounded so surreal to them all, because she said he had a black mask and he looked like he was carrying a black vacuum. And they're sitting there thinking, who could this be? And, you know, what on earth has happened?
Just weeks ago, Kohberger taking a plea deal, admitting he killed the 4 friends. Patterson and Ward now hoping to give readers a true sense of who they were and all of their promise.
You will meet Ethan and Kaylee and Maddie and Xana. You will meet them and you will feel them as human beings.
I spoke to Stacey Chapin, Ethan's mom, and she did say, which was wonderful to hear, that she's so glad that this book exists, because it means that they're not forgotten. It is a tribute to them and their lives.
And it is so important to remember how they lived their lives. The Idaho 4, An American Tragedy, is out now. Also, Patterson told me that out of all of his nonfiction books, this is the one he's the happiest with. Michael.
Wow, that's saying a lot there, Kana. Thank you.
Now to an investigation into the disappearance of a young news anchor. Her last broadcast, the abduction of Jodi Huisentruit, follows a major break in the case 30 years after she vanished. Her last broadcast premieres tomorrow on Hulu. Take a look.
The mystery of a TV news anchor who suddenly vanished. Gone at Dawn, a new 2020 starts now.
The absolute best ending to Jodi's story would be to find her alive somehow, if by some miracle.
The 2020 show, that's why I reached out to Mesa City Police.
The next best thing would be to at least close the case, to find her remains and to figure out who did this.
My ex-husband, he needs to be looked at.
The result of Patty's tip was a brand new person of interest in one of the Midwest's biggest cold cases.
She was a rising star, young, pretty, and a local celebrity in Mason City, Iowa. Police immediately suspected foul play.
To find a scene like that, your instincts start to take over. Like, where did she go? Where would you go? You start to think of if it's your own daughter, like, where would you start looking?
We received a tip from a female that identified her former husband.
We've had a lot of people call and say, my ex-husband done it.
Right.
But we know that you were one of her close friends. We call this a very high priority lead.
It bothered me for so many years.
Witnesses had seen a guy that was creeping around her apartment complex.
I was one giant goosebump when he showed me that sketch. Was he there? I don't care what it takes. I can handle it. Let's find Jody.
You want some Monday motivation? We're going to give you some Monday motivation. We're back with ABC News contributor Robert Arzón, who's here to talk about something very close to her heart, diabetes awareness, and a brand new initiative from Barbie that's helping with this. When I'm even looking at this.
We're in a Barbie world today.
In a Barbie world today. Robin, it's so great to see you.
You too.
Lara and I have been looking forward to this segment very much. You are a queen. You are out there talking about so many different issues, especially diabetes awareness. So just tell us about what is an average day like for somebody living with diabetes?
Well, someone living with T1D, their pancreas no longer produces insulin or produces very little insulin, so we are insulin dependent, or we wear all kinds of devices to monitor and track to make sure that we're out there and we're healthy. The average T1D, person living with T1D makes over 150 additional decisions a day to stay alive. So imagine, I was diagnosed as an adult, but I can only imagine the young folks, the kids who are diagnosed all the way into adulthood. You can be diagnosed as an adult, which is something a lot of folks don't know. They are needing to think like a pancreas. And that's exhausting. And sometimes we're wearing devices that people are like, what is that? And this campaign with Barbie, I'm so excited about because it really normalizes T1D and also it celebrates our strength.
All right, so talk a little bit about the Barbie initiative here.
The Barbie Fashionista line is its most inclusive line, and as of this week, we have a Barbie with T1D. Barbie with T1D, she has a continuous glucose monitor like I'm wearing. She has an insulin pump. And of course, she does it stylishly. But it's amazing. The response to the Barbie T1D Fashionista, who they created, by the way, in partnership with Breakthrough T1D, which is an amazing T1D advocacy organization, to make sure that we got the details just right. Of course, she's doing it in style, but it's really meaningful. The response has been resounding. Of course, the kids are feeling like they are being seen, but I think it's healing some folks' inner child, right? Like I've received a lot of feedback from adults who are just like, I love her, I want her, and I don't care if I'm 45 years old, right? So it's really a celebration of strength and creativity.
And Robin, I know you're a paid partner of Barbie.
Yes.
But this is so personal for you. How does it feel? I mean, I can feel it, but just to have this part of your life represented in a doll, how does that feel to you personally?
Well, to be able, I mean, honestly, I was really tearing up when I saw the doll for the first time to see my daughter's reaction. So my kids have often had questions about what is that thing? What's mommy doing? She's checking her blood sugar. What is insulin? And now I have a doll to be able to show them that this is part of a larger story. And we aren't limited by a diagnosis or a condition. And the Barbie Fashionista line is trying to do just that. It is the most inclusive line with a variety of body types, skin colors, hairstyles. And I think we can, we want to look good for victory. And I think this is a representation of that.
Yeah, you are a good representation of that. This is a good representation of you. That is one of a kind.
You are, Robin. I'm a Barbie.
Oh my gosh. That is awesome.
So let me tell y'all, my mom never got me the Barbie dream house. She said, you know what? You're just going to have to play with what you got. And so I'm happy to say, Mama, we made it. We made it. So this Barbie is one of a kind. There's a Barbie hair salon. There's a Barbie stylist. They hand drew the tattoos. Of course, she's got that continuous glucose monitor.
Great calves.
Yeah, you know what?
You have the same hairstyle.
Same hairstyle. This Barbie works out. She does push-ups. She lifts weights. She works out with me on the Peloton bike. But this obviously was such a fun, lovely dream come true to work with the team on this, and again to see my kids' reactions. And honestly, it's a moment where it feels like it's been a couple decades in the making, many decades in the making for this to happen. And I'm really, really grateful for the partnership and to celebrate, again, strength, creativity, and the confidence that this kind of play can create.
Everybody wants to be seen.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you're going through. Everybody's got something. You just want to know that you're being seen and you're being heard.
You got it.
And that's what this is doing. Look at this. Robin, thank you. Thank you so very much. You got
Always
it.
love your energy.
I know.
Congratulations. This is big.
Thank you.
Huge. And that will be in Indianapolis on Friday. I'll be there.
George.
To show my face in the place. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye-bye.